Hello, welcome to our channel Learn to Score. In this video, we are going to discuss about introduction to sets. I hope you will like the video. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you. Let us now understand what is a set. A well-defined collection of objects or ideas is known as a set, right? If you observe here, the statements well-defined collection of objects or ideas is known as a set, right? Here you have few phrases: collection of objects, well-defined collection of objects. Let's first understand what does it mean by collection of objects. Look at this example: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. What are these? These are odd numbers, right? So let me write, this is a collection of odd numbers, right? Now let us take another example: A, E, I, O, U. What are these? These are vowel letters, right? So we can say that it is a collection of vowels in English alphabet, right? Let's see another example: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, and so on. What are these? These are prime numbers, right? So let me say that these are a collection of prime numbers, right? Let us look at another example: cricket, football, kho, kabaddi, basketball. What are these? These are sports, right? To be precise, these are names of the sports, right? So let's write, these are collection of names of the sports. Now we understood, when you say collection of objects or ideas, we have seen collection of odd numbers, collection of vowels, collection of prime numbers, collection of names of sports, right? So we understood what does it mean by collection of objects or ideas, right? Now let us understand what does it mean by well-defined collection. What does it mean by well-defined collection? So well-defined collection is defined as following: all the objects in the set should have a common feature or property. Okay, you take a collection of objects, right? To say whether it is a well-defined collection or not, you have to first see whether all the objects in the collection should have a common feature or not. You have to check that whether there is a common feature or not. Okay, if there is a common feature, then we can say it is a well-defined collection. Prior to that, there is another rule that says that it should be possible for us to decide whether any given object belongs to the set or not. These are the two rules. First thing is, all the objects in the set should have a common feature or property. And the second rule is, we should be in a position to decide whether any given object belongs to the set or not. Okay, if that happens, if something matches both the requirements, then we can call that as a well-defined collection. If it is a well-defined collection, then that collection can be a set, right? Let's understand a little more about well-defined collection with the help of some examples. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. What are these? These are even numbers, right? Let me say that it is a collection of even numbers. Now we have to see whether it is a well-defined collection of even numbers or not, right? Or whether it is a well-defined collection or not, we have to first find, right? For that, the first requirement is it should have a common feature or property. So all the elements, look at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Any of the elements or any of the numbers you take from this collection, they should have a common feature or property. The common feature here is all these numbers are divisible by number 2, right? Even numbers are the numbers which are divisible by number 2, right? So all these numbers have one common feature, right? Now the second requirement, whether we'll be in a position to decide if any number is given, whether it belongs to this particular set or not. For that, we are going to do, what we are going to do is we divide the given number with number 2 and see whether it is divisible or not. If it is divisible, it is going to be a part of this collection. For example, 12 is divisible by 2, right? That's why it is part of this collection, right? Suppose 11 is given to you and you will be in a position to say that this is going to be 5. We can write it like this, right? 5 1 by 2. So it is not properly divisible, right? 11 by 2 is not properly divisible. For that reason, you say that 11 does not belong to this particular set. Understood? Now you understood about well-defined collection or not? Let's take another example. Ant, umbrella, ask, owl, ink, end, and so on. What are these? These are the words which have got vowel as the first letter, right? These are the collection of words starting with vowels A, E, I, O, U, right? Now, what is the feature? The first letter of any of the words you take, that belongs to one of these letters, A, E, I, O, U, right? Here it is A, here it is U, here A, O, I, E. Now you understood? Suppose you are given a a word called ball. Okay. What you would be doing is you will look for the first letter B that does not belong to this set. That's why you say that word ball does not belong to this particular collection of words. It means now you understood that this is also a well-defined collection of words, right? Now, we learned about well-defined collection of words, well-defined collection of numbers, all that. What does it mean by not well-defined collection? Let's take an example. Collection of tall students in your class. Is it a well-defined collection or not? How do we say? First, we have to know what are the members of this, right? For example, if you want to say that it is a set, what are the members of the set? The question is, who are the members of this set? To specify that, you have to say, who are the tall students, right? For that, what you require is, can I say that people who are taller than 5 feet are going to be the members of this particular set? Can I say that people who are taller than 5.5 feet are part of this set, members of this set? Are taller than 6 feet? Now you see, when you say that a collection of tall students in your class, you don't know whom to pick and who should be the members of this particular class, because you don't know whether 5 feet and above are called tall, or 5.5 feet and above are called tall, or 6 feet and above are called tall. You have ambiguity, right? You don't understand clearly. Means this particular collection is not well defined, right? So the definition of this particular collection of tall students in your class, is not well defined. You understood? But what is well defined would be this: collection of students in your class who are taller than 5 feet 6 inches. If the statement is given like this particular collection is going to be a well defined collection, because you know who are the members of this particular set or particular collection, right? Got it? Now, that's why we say that it is a well-defined collection, and if you write all the people names who are taller than 5 feet 6 inch, that is going to be a well-defined collection, and then it is going to be a set, right? Let's quickly recall what we have learned. Based on that, we can say a well-defined collection of objects or ideas is known as a set, right? Here, look at this: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. These are collection of odd numbers. And we know one feature of odd numbers is that is not divisible by number 2, right? With the help of that feature, we can say a given number is an odd number or not. So it is a set. It is a well-defined collection of numbers and it is a set. AEIOU, yes, it is a collection of vowels and it is also well defined, right? And 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 and so on, these are collection of prime numbers. It is also a well defined collection because the feature of prime numbers is any number, if you take, if the number has only two factors, number 1 and the number itself as the factors, then those numbers are called prime numbers, right? Suppose if you take 4 has 1, 2 and 4, total 3 factors, right? So it is not a prime number, right? If you are given number 5, it has only two factors, number 1 and number 5. So that is going to be a prime number. So with the help of this definition, we are in a position to classify a given number belongs to this collection or not, right? That's why it is a well-defined collection and a set, right? Cricket, football, kho-kho, kabaddi, basketball, all these are collection of names of sports, right? And looking at the game, you can say that whether it is a sport or not, you will be in a position to classify correctly. For that reason, it can also be a set. Got it? Now let us learn about naming of sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. What are these? These are numbers, right? Specifically, these are natural numbers. They are denoted using letter n, right? When you write this collection of numbers in the set notation, you write it as n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on in between two curly brackets. These are called curly brackets or braces. When you write the members of the collection of list of numbers, okay, then you say that it is written in the set notation. Here n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on is a set. Understood? This denotes the set. You have certain elements or certain objects written in between curly brackets that denotes the set. Please note this. Let us take another example. B equal to square, rectangle, rhombus. Okay. This is a set of quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals are the shapes which have got 4 sides, right? Square, rectangle, rhombus, these are quadrilaterals, and set B is a collection of quadrilaterals, well-defined collection of quadrilaterals, right? Let's look at another example. Capital T equal to Tuesday and Thursday written in the set notation, right? If you look at this, what you can say is set T of days in a week starting with letter T. Look at this, Tuesday and Thursday, these are days of a week, right? 2 days of a week. The speciality here is the first letter is T. So set T is a set of days in a week starting with letter capital T or letter T for that matter. Understood? When you look at all these, what you can say is names of the sets are denoted using uppercase letters. Here capital N, capital B, capital T. For example, for integers, you denote using capital Z, rational numbers Q, real numbers R, some set of elements, certain kind of elements A, B, C, X, Y, Z. Names of the sets are denoted using capital letters. Please note this. Now let's learn about elements of sets. Here we have seen that T is a set of days in a week starting with letter T, right? Look at this. Tuesday and Thursday are the elements of set T. Please note this. Tuesday and Thursday are elements of set T. T is the name of the set, right? It has got 2 elements. One element is Tuesday and the second element is Thursday, right? And also note that elements of the set can be written in any fashion. For example, Thursday can be written first and Tuesday can be written later. Still, that can be called set T only. There is no difference. Please understand this. Now, when you look at this, you can say that Tuesday belongs to set T, right? Tuesday is one of the elements of set T. That's why you say that Tuesday belongs to set T. This is the belongs to symbol. Tuesday belongs to set T. This is how you write. Thursday belongs to set T because Thursday is also one of the elements of set T, right? That's why you can say that Thursday belongs to set T, and in mathematical notation you write it as Thursday belongs to set T. Understood? Monday does not belong to set T. The reason is that, any element of set T has this requirement. The first letter has to be T. Here Monday has got first letter as M. That's why it does not belong to set T. Understood? So mathematically it is written as Monday does not belong to set T. You see, does not belong to symbol. Belongs to symbol is shown here, and does not belongs to symbol has got a line like this over the belongs to symbol. Understood? N equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. When you write like this, what you say is N is a set of all natural numbers. This so on symbol says that N is a set of all natural numbers. Got it? Here if you look at 1 belongs to set N because 1 is one of the natural numbers, right? 1 belongs to natural numbers that is denoted using set N, right? -1 does not belong to set N because -1 is a negative number. It belongs to integers. Please note this. It does not belong to natural number set N. So that is mathematically represented as -1 does not belong to N. Understood? Let us now learn about ways to write sets. Sets can be written in two ways. One is in its roster form and in set builder form. Let's first understand about roster form. We have already learnt about roster form, but now let's understand this. Set of vowel letters in English alphabet. We have written that as V equal to A, E, I, O, U in between curly brackets, right? And we said that V is a set of elements A, E, I, O, U. When you have something like this, you say that already set V is written in its roster form. The reason for that is you have written all the elements of set V in between curly brackets, right? When you write all the elements of any set in between curly bracket, you say that that particular set is written in its roster form. It means set V is written in roster form here, right? B is a set of elements square, rectangle and rhombus, right? You have written all these elements in between curly brackets. It means it is already written in its roster form. Set B of quadrilaterals is written in its roster form, right? Look at another example. Set of prime numbers less than 13. What are these? 2, 3, 5, 7 and 11. These are the prime numbers less than 13, right? So what you are going to do is, you know that these are the elements of the set, right? You have written all the elements in between curly brackets. That's why you say that set P is already written in its roster form. Set P of prime numbers less than 13 is written in its roster form. You now understood about roster form. As I mentioned earlier, in the roster form, the order doesn't matter. And another point you have to note here is you are not going to duplicate the same elements. For example, if you have even 2 and 2, then in the roster form, you are going to write just 1, 2. Okay. For example, 2, 3, and 4 are the elements of set. You can write this as 4, 3, and 2 also. There is no harm. 2, 3, 4 and 4, 3, 2. These two sets are same. The order in roster form doesn't matter. And second thing is, when you have duplicate elements like this 2 and 2, you will be writing only once. Please note this. Now let's look at set builder form. We have seen this set, right? Set of vowel letters in English alphabet. We have written this in its roster form. Now we want to write this in set builder form. When you want to write this in set builder form, how are we going to do? You write it as V equal to X is to X is a vowel letter in the English alphabet. You write the whole thing in between curly brackets, right? Otherwise, you write it as X slash X is a vowel letter in the English alphabet. You put that in between curly brackets. So this is the notation for set builder form. Okay, if you want to write in any given set in set builder form, you would be writing in curly bracket. Okay, you open the curly bracket and say X colon X is something and close the curly bracket. Okay. Now, how do we read? When you want to read something like this written in set builder form, we read this as V is a set of elements X such that X is a vowel letter in the English alphabet. You see, how am I reading? V is a set of elements X such that X is a vowel letter in the English alphabet. Now you have seen this, right? Let's write this for another set. Set of prime numbers less than 13. You have written that already in roster form, right? P is a set of elements 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. It is written in roster form. We want to write this in set builder form. You look at this 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. All these are prime numbers less than 13. Suppose if I denote if I denote number 2 or number 3, number 5 with X, then what you can say is X is a prime number less than 13. Right? So we are going to make use of this while writing the set builder form. So you say that P, that is the set name, that is equal to, you open the curly bracket and write X colon and then say that X is a prime number less than 13 because X can be 2, X can be 3, X can be 5, X can be 7, X can be 11, right? Suppose if I denote number 2, number 3, number 5, number 7, number 11 with X, variable X, then X is going to be a prime number less than 13, right? When you write this way, you say that set P is written in set builder form. So how am I going to read this? P is a set of elements. P is a set of elements X such that X is a prime number less than 13. Understood? Let's do this with another example. A is a set of elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When you look at this, you can say that it is a set of whole numbers less than 6. We have written set A in its roster form, right? We want to write this in set builder form. For that, what you have to know is what are these elements? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If I denote them using X, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, these are numbers, whole numbers less than 6, means X is a whole number less than 6, right? Now we can write the given set in set builder form as A equal to, open the curly bracket and say X colon, then say that X is a whole number less than 6 and close the curly bracket. How do we read this? A is a set of elements X such that X is a whole number less than 6. Understood? I hope you like the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Learn to Score. Thank you.